Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV. I hope you guys are well, wherever it is that you may be around the world. And we are here. Oh, my hair's got a bit funny. We are here to talk about that calamity yesterday. Sorry, it's a bit of a late stream. It should have been earlier on today, but I've been so busy, got so much going on at the moment with house movings and things like that. But we are here to discuss that performance yesterday. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Share on all your socials, guys. Loads to delve into, loads to talk about, loads to try and understand from this performance. Yeah. Before we move forward, you know what time it is? As always, I will cue that intro. Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV. I hope you guys are well, wherever it is that you may be around the world. And we are here to discuss Chelsea 2, Wolves 2. Yes, Chelsea 2, Wolves 2. Again, sorry for bringing you quite a late stream. Usually I stream them either straight after the game or, you know, a day after in the mornings and the afternoons. But I've been very busy and I still wanted to try and get a stream in for you guys as well. So I thought, why not do it around this time, 6:15? Get your guys' thoughts and opinions. Talk about certain individuals and personnel. Why did it go wrong? Where did it go wrong? Where were the problems in yesterday's games? And why can't we seem to win? Why can't Chelsea Football Club put a win behind their name? Why can we not win at home? It's becoming more of a thing of that. It's a struggle for me to explain. I mean, it's easy to explain, but I can feel like when I said this before, I could literally just play the same stream that we done for a reaction show the last game round. Pretty much, it's going to be the same things you're going to probably hear me saying, and it's just becoming draining. And you know, the end of the season's around the corner. I think we all just want the end of the season just to come, but Chelsea are not making it easy. They had a 6-point lead against Arsenal. It's now dropped to 3. Then we go into that Wolves game with a 3-point lead, and then it drops to 1 because we decide to fuck it up because we can't hold a 2-goal lead. And I know that there's so many Chelsea fans that were happy with certain individual performances, and that's fine. Like, I get that. Like, certain personnel were better in the eye, should we say. But when you think about the overall game and how it went and how much Wolves had of the ball, especially in the second half, it just isn't a fortress anymore. Like the stadium, that Stamford Bridge used to be a fortress. You couldn't go there and be 2-0 up and ever think you're going to get a draw, let alone a win. These guys come and could have won this game. If anything, Wolves were wasteful. If Wolves would have took their chances, we could have easily lost this game yesterday. And it's becoming quite an issue. Certain personnel, players are just not at their levels, and we need to talk about these players. And I know a lot of people keep pointing fingers at the likes of Tuchel, for example, and substitutions again, but we need to get it in our heads that it's more than that. It's more than Thomas Tuchel. Thomas Tuchel has managed to do as much as he can to this point with these bunch of individuals. Now all you're seeing is the lack of consistency that I've been saying since last year when Tuchel first come through the door, when all these players are playing so well under him. The lack of consistency from these players, and some of them in the way that they're playing are making it look like have been playing for contracts. It's not good enough. Sorry, once again. It's not good enough. It's definitely a mentality issue. Jordan, we are lucky, bro. Massively lucky. I don't think people fully understand. We had a 2-0 lead, but it doesn't tell the whole same of the story. And we're going to talk about that game. We're going to break it down. And we're going to go through bits and bobs about it. Big up to people in the chat. Let's see what people say. Another 25 of you here. Big up to everyone. As soon as Chelsea show an interest, exactly, because we know how blooming needy we need certain players. Texas Blues says Leeds will come into Wednesdays winless in the last 3. So we all know what will happen there. And, my name says it all. That is what we are at the moment. We are like Charity FC. Surf says Charity FC coming on Wednesday. Big up to Kevin. Max Tiger in the house. Nice to see you as well. Gary, nice to see you, bro. Not long ago, he wasn't in the France squad, which blew my mind. Be a very good replacement for Antonio Rudiger. There's a lot of good replacements. Not gonna lie, there's a lot of paid people that you could potentially look at and say, yeah, you know, good shout. Brian, big up to you. Jordan, big up to you. Fortma, big up to you. Daniel Knight, nice to see you in the house as well, my man. I hope you're well. And that's what it is. It's vibes right now. I'm just drinking tea as I sit here talking to you guys. But things worry me slightly because we are now 1 point behind. 1 point ahead of Arsenal, who won today against Leeds just about. They had 10 men and they still got the job done. But you look at the games that we've got left and you've got to ignoring the Wolves game now. We have Leeds, we have Liverpool, we have Leicester, and we have Watford. Right? These 4 games are what's left for Chelsea. 3 games left in the league. For Arsenal to take us, basically takes over is them to win and us either to draw or lose a game, which at the moment is looking pretty peak. Is looking that it could potentially happen in the way that we're playing, and it's very scary. Look at what Premier League games are left: Leeds away, Leicester at home, and Watford at home. Now, a Chelsea in form, a Chelsea that is firing, a Chelsea that is doing their bit. Should we say doing their bit, doing what we know they can do? Don't lose points from here. Don't drop points at this point. So for me, it's one of them things of that. We have a good opportunity to close and finish off and hold third. But why are we on holiday? Why have our players not been there? Why are they not at the levels that are required? Why can't we hold a lead? Exactly, Mo. Big up to Mo as well. So Arsenal could potentially finish ahead of us. It's true. That's not even a joke anymore. You know, it got to a point of where we were too far away. All right, we still need to lose one more game out of the 3 games that we've got left. But we're in no real great form. We can't even hold a blooming 2-0 win against Wolves at home. And they're not even in great form. Wolves lost their last 3 games, man. Am I confident going into this game? No. Any of these games? No. I'm not. I'm going to the Leeds game on Thursday, which I'm regretting. Sorry, on Wednesday, which I'm regretting. Driving down to Leeds to watch us win. And I'm thinking to myself, do I really want to do that? Do I really want to go and watch that? Put myself through this? At the end of the day, we need 6 points to get top 4. We have to win 2 of these games from now till Watford. So from Leeds to Watford, we cannot afford to lose or draw any more games. And I know Tottenham and Arsenal have still got to play each other and et cetera, etc. But I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore. I genuinely don't know what to say, you know, other than just get us to the end of this window. I've had enough. I've genuinely had enough. Yeah, big up to Mo, big up to Jordan, big up to M3 in the house as well, man. Nice to see all you guys here already. I know it's a little bit of a late stream from my side of things. Usually I've always given you an earlier stream. Our players don't give a shit. They just want to play the FA Cup final. I think that's what they are focusing on, Jem, is what Jordan's saying. But why, Jordan? My question would be, why are they doing this? They've not got third. It wasn't confirmed that Chelsea have got third and we can play like this and get away with it. We had a 6-point lead. We had a 6-point lead. And now we have a 1-point lead after today, after Arsenal's win. You know? Ivana, big up to you, my man. I see you, RD, in the house as well. Pulisic had a very good game, RD. Pulisic did have a good game. I know he's going to be here talking about his love for Mr. Christian Pulisic, guys. But make sure we're smashing them likes, guys. Over 35, nearly 40 of you here. Get these likes up. Sharing your socials as well. Let's let people know that we're currently live as well. CFC has, you said, should we try Chalobah at CDM? I think we're at a point where we need to potentially start taking risks. Because when I look at yesterday's game, and we're going to talk more into depth about yesterday's game. And funny enough, actually, before we do that, let's go to this because you mentioned Chalobah, actually. It's quite interesting. I see this stat come up on Chalobah. It's quite interesting. So, with Trevor Chalobah in the Chelsea team. So, it says Chelsea's Premier League record with or without Trevor Chalobah starting this season. At 15 out of 20. Now we've won 12 wins. Sorry, yeah, 12 wins out of 7. No, that can't be right. 7 wins out of 12. No, that's worked out. 3 out of 7. What does that mean? Defeats 0 out of 6. So we haven't lost. What do you mean by that? I'm baffed. His apps were 15 out of 20. We've won 12 of them. Sorry, we've won 12 of them. Drew and then lost 7, and then we've out of the 20 we've drawn 3, and we've lost none under him out of 6. That don't make sense. I don't get that. That's really confused me. That's really confused. Goals scored per game 2.47. Goals conceded per game 0.47. So, not to say that Chalobah's the answer, but are we not giving the young boys the opportunity now? You know, he started off having a very good season. He had a little blip, which us Chelsea fans should have expected from Chalobah. We should have expected. But at the same time, when you look at the performances that we're getting currently at the moment from certain individuals, it is not good enough. It's not good enough to keep allowing Azpilicueta, who's on the decline, playing. You know, what difference is Azpilicueta to Chalobah? If anything, you might feel a lot more secure with Chalobah because at least he has the pace. Yes, he can have that moment of lack of concentration. I get that in his game. But why can't he start? What is putting him on the bench? Why can't we maybe try something different? We haven't got a natural DM. We haven't got someone that can just sit in front of the team. We've tried Kovacic and Ruben. We've tried Ruben and Jorginho. Kovacic, Jorginho. Kante, Kovacic. Kante, Jorginho. And for me, it's still the same bullshit. We don't have someone that can just completely kill the game off. Jorginho plays that game yesterday. Yes, he controls the ball. But at that pace of the game in the second half, which it was yesterday, how quick the ball was being moved and how quick it was back and forwards, I think Jorginho would have struggled in that. You know, the defence, as much as we're going to criticise the defence for the performance, the defence had no protection whatsoever yesterday. None. You know, and the only thing we could really say about maybe what Thomas Tuchel done right when he brought Havertz on is maybe he should have brought Havertz on. Maybe he should have just made a substitution in the middle and tightened up the midfield because we was getting overrun for fun. Big up to Noah. RD, big up to you. Lee Bell's in the house. We ain't beating Liverpool in the final. Sorry, buddy. Well, that's the kind of game Chelsea probably turn up to. Marshall, nice to see you, mate, as well. A defensive overhaul is needed this summer with so many players. But even the ones that are leaving are not playing to that level anymore, man. You know, we're not seeing that typical Rudiger performance. And we're going to talk about these players individually. I keep saying this. And this is one thing I have to keep stressing to the fans. And this is my opinion, obviously. You know, you can all think what you want. But I've seen over social media a lot of people complaining about the performances, about Thomas Tuchel, about what Thomas Tuchel was doing with this squad, how he's setting us up, and maybe the decision makings for the substitutions. Where I do agree that maybe he could make some substitutions earlier, what I don't agree with is how some of these individuals in the team are playing at the moment. That is on them. And that's why I keep saying that for me, the issue at the moment is not the system. It's not Thomas Tuchel. It's the players. It's the personnel. It's the individuals. You know, maybe he shouldn't pick certain people and play others. You know, we're going to look at the formations a bit, but he went to a 3-5-2. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. We need to slow the pace down. But that's why I said maybe rather than bringing Havertz on, you could have just brought on... you could have just brought on a defensive midfielder, a defender. He brings Malang Sarr on, who was Malang Sarr. You know, people blame him for the goal, but, he should have maybe shut the ball down earlier. He doesn't. They whip the ball down the back post. Thiago Silva gets caught under the ball. Reece James is marking the guy behind him, and there's that space, and people try and blame Mendy for that goal. Just get it out your heads. Mendy or Kepa in that goal, it makes no difference. It makes no difference. They're not saving that. It's just not happening. Like, people, for me, overreact on certain players. Now, Mendy's not been good in the last couple of games. We've been bang out of form. But in this game specifically, I am not pointing my finger at Mendy. I'm not pointing the finger at Mendy. That is not the problem for me. The problem, the biggest problem out of all of this, and I keep saying it, is the midfield. If it ain't the midfield, it's the forwards. You know, it's you know, we've been heavily reliant on our defence to give us performances, to grind us out wins, to help allow us to win games by 1-0 or 2-0 or 2-1. Yeah? Because we'd always ask for our defence to be at their A game every game. But it's getting to the point now where we can't just keep relying on this defence. And I'm not sticking up for their performances because they haven't been great, barring Silva. And I know they can do better. But the midfield is a big problem at this football club. Our wing-backs is another issue. Our forward line is another issue in itself. Consistency. We spoke about this a number of times on this channel. Consistency of our forward line. But our midfield does not provide any protection whatsoever for our defence. Our defence gets absolutely slaughtered because they're having to not only defend the strikers and the forwards that are playing, but they're also having to judge if they need to jump forward on midfielders that have broke the lines. You know, and it's just too much. It's too much. Big up to EE in the house. Over 50 of you guys is smash the like button, guys. Let's get this over 50. Get this over 50. Get this over 50 likes, please. And subscribe if you're new. Let's get this to 3.3K. I think we're on, are we? Yeah, 3.3K we're on our road to. Only 20 subscribers away as well. Mo says, do you think the back three system isn't working for us? An extra mid with a back four? No, Kasim, because the issue I have with the biggest issue I have at the moment is not the system. It's not the three. It's the personnel playing in the system. Relevant to us playing from a back three and playing into a back four, we still would have had the same issues. And the same issues keep occurring. We have no protection in midfield. We were leggy. Even though Kovacic, I thought, had a good game yesterday, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek was okay. Yeah, you know, but again, playing him in a position he shouldn't be in. You know, it comes to a point where you've got to look at it and go, right, what can I do to tighten this up? And that is the only small part of where I blame Thomas Tuchel, because even though Kovacic and Loftus-Cheek were leggy, he still could have just brought on that one midfielder rather than bring on a Havertz, throw a Malang Sarr in this game. He could have just added that extra midfielder. It was clear and evidence that where we were losing the game yesterday was through the midfield. They were breaking the lines too easily. And it was embarrassing. We had a 2-0 lead and we never looked comfortable the whole game. We looked like we were always going to concede every time they went forward. And I said in Con's space on Twitter, I said this on Twitter. They're all talking about it. And I said, you guys are underestimating this Wolves team. They went, yeah, but you know this Wolves team hasn't won in 3 games. I went, but look at the lineup. They had Neves and Raul Jimenez, Trincao. You know, it was a strong Wolves team. You know, we got our 2-0 lead and we thought we were there and we just, again, overlooked the situation. Us playing into a back four or a back three means nothing to me. The issue we have is that the personnel in this system, 4-3, whatever you want to play, are not working, are not good enough, are not playing to the standards that are required at Chelsea Football Club. That's it. And we lack some serious strength in depth. We lack some serious strength in depth in certain positions as well. And that's it. That's the truth, guys. That is the only. We're going to get into it more anyway. Couch Corner, big up to you. We'll open up the lines as well, guys. So make sure you stay tuned. Get these likes up over 50, please, and try and close this to 75. So we need an overhaul in the summer. Yeah. I think there's a lot more players that need to go than actually stay. Do I think we'll do it all in one summer? No. Now, I know some people... I know we had that chat on your channel, Mo, where we were talking about, are Chelsea ever going to be able to compete for titles? Are Chelsea going to be able to compete, you know, against the Cities and the Liverpools? And I said to you on your stream on the Blue Lounge, I said to you, I feel that we are in a position that we haven't been in for the last 20 years under Roman Abramovich. And this is the first time for me. We actually need a full restructure, rebuild. We're at a point now where there's some players that go back as far as Conte still in this team. Conte, Sarri, Lampard, and now we've got Thomas Tuchel. We need to allow Thomas Tuchel the opportunity to create his own project and philosophy with the players that he wants. At the moment, people can say, but these are his players. They're not his play. They're not in theory, are they? They're players that have been at this club for a very long time. And it's a bit of a mixture of all the managers of what they wanted in one at the moment. That's the issue. Do we need an overhaul? Potentially, yeah. Are we going to do it in one summer? Probably not, unfortunately. Depending on how aggressive Todd Bowley's going to be. I don't know his strategy. We're all waiting as Chelsea fans to see what our new owners are going to be like. How aggressive are they going to be? Are they going to make big decisions straight away? You know, are they going to fund? Are they going to back Thomas Tuchel and give him whatever he wants in the first summer? I don't think so. But Lewis, how you doing?
Yeah, a bit better after all that chaos on stream. But yeah, this team's still full of dickheads. But we move. Agree with what you say, though. Complete overhaul is needed. Like, you hit the nail on the head. Too many players from too many different managers. There's no actual cohesive unit here. It's just a bunch of players just all bundled up together that somehow won a Champions League. But that's just it. Like, we're going to walk our way through into 4th place. Probably not 5th, if we're being really honest. Like, we should beat Leicester. We should beat Watford. They're both on the beach just like we are. But Leeds, I think we slip up in. I can't lie. I'm not looking forward to Leeds away.
Bro.
I'm looking forward to the trip up and back. That'll be fun. But the game
is it? Me, you and Johnny just fucking moaning the whole way there and back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Johnny going on about Mount for 3 hours. Your little crusty agenda will be fucking jokes.
Nah, man. Imagine if Krusty pulls out an absolute masterclass and I'm in the car.
Or disaster class. If he does a disaster, I'm taking the coach back if that happens.
Yeah, so me, Lewis, and Minerals Johnny are travelling down to the Leeds game, actually. I've never been to the Leeds ground, so first time for me. Have you been? Oh, you haven't been, have you?
No, I'm looking, like, I know the atmosphere is going to be mad. And also, obviously, the kickoff different there, but I know the game's going to piss me off.
100%. Where are you? Lower or upper? I don't even know where I am, actually.
Is there an upper?
I think there's 2, lower or upper at Leeds. That's what I think. When I bought it, there was 2.
See my ticket quickly. I'm row 30 or something, so I don't know.
You're row 30?
Yeah.
Let me try as well. Sorry, guys.
Bear with those guys. No, I'm row R, not 30. I don't know why I thought that. Yeah, I'm upper tier. There's a fucking upper tier. Ugh.
Yeah, I'm in an upper tier. Where does it say that one?
Mine says John Charles Upper.
I'm John Charles Paddock. Where's that?
Paddock? That's probably lower. Yeah.
Entrance.
What row are you? What row are you?
Row FF.
Yeah, you might be lower. You might be lower.
C8, C58. That's got to be lower, isn't it? Fuck knows. I don't know. And it says
check.
Area C17. What's your area say?
From what?
It says area on the ticket.
Area.
Yeah, it's just like
C7. B2.
Yeah, I'm C17, so I've got to be above you, right? Surely, if I'm C. I think I must be above you.
I'm having a look.
So you and Johnny are sitting with each other.
No, you're in the you're at the bottom. You're at the bottom.
Am I lower?
Yeah, you're at the bottom. It starts with double digits and then goes to single.
Oh, nice. I wanted to sit lower. I've never sat lower before, so that'd be nice.
Yeah, you're gonna have bodies flying on top of you if they score.
Is it?
Oh fuck! Yeah, no, I am in the upper tier. Oh fuck! That's gonna stink. All right, cool. Fuck it.
You're out there. All right, cool. So, guys, Blue Lounge, thank you for the donation, bros. Hit the like button. There's over 80 of you guys here, 20 minutes in. Big up to everyone. Thank you for coming. I know it's a bit of a late stream. I usually stream straight after or the next day early, but man's busy these days, you know. Going back to this game, let's see what people are saying. Gem, Chelsea will slap LFC is what Noah's saying. Listen, we've been saying this about most teams that we play. I'm at the point now where I'm just like, it's just vibes. Like if we draw or lose our next game, and Arsenal win, we are fourth. People don't understand how serious this is now. We can't lose or draw one game between Watford, Leicester, and Leeds until the end of the season now, Lewis. Otherwise, Arsenal are going to catch us. How does that feel?
I expected these lot were going to flop it, but I guess it's going to be Leeds away when we do it. It all depends on that game. If we beat Leeds, then third's in the bag. If we drop any points there, we're done with it. Because I don't think Arsenal drop any more either. I think they even win the North London derby, to be honest. Yeah. Be very surprised something different comes out. But we've done it to ourselves. Well, these dickheads have done it to us more than anything. But we need to, the biggest conversation, even over the fucking personnel issue, is this mentality problem that we have with the squad. So many managers have spoken about it as well. There's a mentality problem at Chelsea, and these fuckers are just a prime example of it. Because they're just falling asleep.
What do we mean by this word? Because, like,
by mentality, I mean the individual mistakes that we're seeing from defenders. By mentality, I mean the complacency that whenever we get a lead, these guys let their head drop and just think that the game's done. By mentality, I mean the consistent factor of loss of late equalizers or late goals being conceded. Like, for example, the Everton game, Burnley in November, Brighton with the Danny Welbeck equaliser, Wolves again in this one as well, Real Madrid after we went 3-0 up and then we fell asleep, Manchester United after we scored and we fell asleep. There is a clear mentality issue with this side. It is blatantly obvious.
Yeah. I like what Clutch said here, ability to step up when need to.
No, but this is the thing. They step up when we need them to, and then as soon as the target's achieved, they fall asleep again.
Yeah, 100%. And look, I don't think have we been in a lead like we was against Wolves this season and lost it like the way we did yesterday? I don't think we have.
Not a 2-goal lead, and not in the last. Well, it has been in the last minute like before, but not in a 2-goal lead. But it's just becoming more and more blatant. But even with that in mind, I kind of blame Tuchel on the second goal because we should have had a centre back come on. I don't get why you brought Kai on to Lukaku.
He brought Malang Sarr on to replace Alonso thing and went to a back four, which didn't work because on the last goal, fucking Sarr was sleeping. He didn't get shut him down quick enough.
And Sarr let him down in that instance as well. But like, we still could have had another centre back on the pitch. I don't get the forward for forward move. That makes no sense.
When you look at the games that we've got left, obviously we're going to the Leeds game hoping for a big win. Otherwise, it's going to be a miserable ride back for us. But then after that, we've got Liverpool, which many people think Chelsea will turn up to. Me personally, I'm not looking forward to this game. I don't know about you.
They'll turn up, but we'll lose. So it won't mean anything.
And then we've got Leicester at home and we've got Watford. So we've got 2 home games. But our home form is absolutely atrocious. I think we've got the 3rd worst home form in the league, from what I understand.
Oh, is it that bad? Shit.
Yeah, I was reading the other day. So it's that bad. I think Norwich and
Stanford hostile, bruv. I can't be bothered.
It's bad. That's what I'm saying to you. You know, and even half good Chelsea would beat Leeds, Leicester, and Watford. But we're not even half good at the moment.
Like, see, here's the thing. Leicester and Watford, I really think we're going to win those ones because they have fuck all to fight for. Leicester's out of the Conference League. They're not competing for Europe. Their season's done. Watford are already relegated. Their season's done. That's why I don't think top 4's gone. Because if we bollocks those 2 games, we don't fucking deserve it. Straight up. We barely deserve it off the form that we're playing right now. But there is no reason whatsoever. Even you say lack of motivation, lack of mentality. They're on the beach as much as we are. So there is no excuse to fuck those games up unless we let the pressure get to ourselves. And if we are, bottle jobs, bitch mentality, that's all it is. Leeds, I'm not confident about whatsoever. FA Cup I couldn't give a shit whether we win or lose that game, in all honesty. It's more about the quadruple and just fucking that up. But I don't care. If we get 4th in an FA Cup, season's still a failure in my eyes. Just, they got to do their job first and foremost, which is why everything rests on the Leeds game for me. Because the other 2 games, they must be winnable. And if they aren't winnable, we are not a top 4 side.
We don't deserve top 4 if we can't beat Leeds, Leicester and Watford. I'm telling you now, we don't even deserve to be third at the moment in the way that we're playing. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting.
Hate to say Arsenal deserve it. And we're giving it to them on a silver platter. We say, here you go, have 3rd place.
Yeah, because we're Charity FC, like my name says here. What? I don't get it. We're Charity FC. We're blimmin', whatever you want to call it, FC right now.
We're on the beach. and our depth is shit, and our attackers let us down, and our defenders are now letting us down too.
Lack of mentality, FC, whatever the fuck you want to call it. We are not in a good place at the moment. And Tuchel, you can just tell, wants to just get over the line with his squad. I can just see it in him. Like, he's just sitting there going, no, man, I can't do this. we just got to get this done somehow, some way. And, we're going to talk about some of the positives from today's game.
I need to have a talk about the defense, but I run the risk of people just saying I'm going to run agenda if I'm doing this.
No. We're going to talk about that defense. We're going to talk about it.
Because to me, AC, Rudiger, and Aspi all look like their heads are already in Spain.
No, I agree.
Rudiger and Aspi are the only two that are starting, though, and their performances have not been good enough.
What annoys me is why is people like Chalobah on the bench not able to get in the team when you've got someone like Azpilicueta that is declining and playing as bad as he is? Like, there's no reason why.
I'm with you at this point. It's like, fuck it. I think it's because of lack of experience, and Tuchel wants to go with experienced players at the back, but they're all flopping. And I'll be real, I've said rotation in the front three is needed because they're not performing. Rotation in the back three is needed too because they're not performing. My only problem is, what AC do we get if we start? Do we get Danish Maldini AC, or do we get AC with his head?
He's not the same. Ever since he's been announced as going Real Madrid, I am telling you now, we're going to do player ratings in a second, but Rudiger has not been the same for me. Like, it's something.
He looks like 1920 Rudiger. That's why I don't even know if I can. This is like the Havertz Lukaku argument with me. I don't know whether I can say put AC in the lineup because I don't know what AC we're going to get either. The only guarantee I have, and I don't want to see him touch the lineup personally. I'd rather have Rudiger or Azpilicueta.
Yeah, but I feel like they've just been playing for their contracts. Like, the way that they're playing now is like, oh, we got what we needed. Yeah, that's it. Let's just Vibes FC it all the way. Who gives a fuck about the points? And that's what it looks like on the pitch. Like, it's just generally not good. Like, Rudiger's one of our most important players, right? He was dropping 8 out of 10s, 9 out of 10s consistently with Silva for games. And we were like, he is undroppable. He has to fucking play. And now, the last couple of games, ever since he's fucking signed himself off to Real Madrid pretty much, he's just not there. Even he looks sloppy and weird. Do you know what I mean? I just feel like we've been used and abused. That's what I feel like. We've just been used and abused by these players. It's starting to wind me up. But when you look at the stats yesterday, 59% possession to their 40%, 19 shots to their 14, only 6 on target out of the 19 shots. We had a better passing completion of 85% yesterday. We kept the ball more. We always do that. Doesn't surprise me. We lost. I mean, they won more tackles than us, 61% to our 50%. Aerial duels, we won by 60-40, even though I thought they were bigger than us on the pitch.
All the stats do is confirm what we saw on the pitch. And what we saw on the pitch was Wolves, for all intents and purposes, should have won that game by a massive margin. Their finishing was as bad as what we've seen from Chelsea's attack this entire season. If anything, they should be pissed that they came out with a draw in the last minute. They should have had the game finished in the first half. It should have been 2 or 3-0 Wolves. They were very wasteful with their chances. And this is my problem. Like, it's just been utterly atrocious from us in all aspects. The 100%. Midfield just got ran through, and there was a bunch of little individual errors in there. In transition, we absolutely suck. Defending and attacking transitions.
This is what I was going to ask you. Obviously, this is what the lineup was when we first originally was given it before the game. And it started with Rudiger. We'll do the player rating straight after this, but I just want to talk about it from a tactical standpoint on what we saw. Obviously, you went for Rudiger, Thiago and Aspi as the back three, Reece James and Marcus Alonso as your wing backs. Ruben and Kovacic played in what you'd call the sixes, with Pulisic playing for the first time as a 10, just behind the two, which was Romelu Lukaku and Timo Werner. Now, Lewis, when you first saw that lineup, how did you feel about it? Was you kind of annoyed with certain personnel being on the pitch, or did you think, actually, this is a good enough team to just get the job done, basically?
I'm guessing Jorginho was out. Yeah, Jorginho was out of an injury. So, yeah, I don't think there was much more we could have done with that, really. Like, you can rotate the back three if you want, but like I didn't see anything wrong with it when we first played. Midfield, it's the best you can make out of it. The attack, I wanted rotation. I got rotation. Hindsight being 2020, I would have binned off Werner at the first possible opportunity and put Mount in. That's about it.
I thought when I first saw it, I thought, right, Ruben, we know what we get from him there. Like, people moan about Ruben and his performances, but he's not a 6, and I can't stress it. I've been saying at the beginning of the season, the guy is not a 6. You're asking someone to play in a position that he's not meant to play in, or pretty much feeling. Kovacic we massively miss. And I actually thought Mateo Kovacic was very good yesterday, barring that individual mistake he made was it the Trincao goal, which was a very good goal, by the way. Yeah, Marcos Alonso. Look, we're going to do player ratings in a minute. I don't have much to say when it comes to him. We don't have a left anyway. Reece James, I think, has been very under the weather is the word, to be honest. I don't really think he's been very good himself. Timo Werner, I'm pretty much done with at this point because I don't know. It's just like Romelu Lukaku. Exactly. I'm not Romelu Lukaku's biggest fan, but yesterday he got us the 2 goals. We bought him for 100 million. That's what we bought him in to do. I don't care if Romelu Lukaku doesn't do anything for the old game as long as he's scoring goals like that. Honestly, I'm at that point now. Yeah, just score goals. Christian Pulisic, for me, actually was my favourite player on the pitch yesterday. I thought he was very good with the ball, finding pocket spaces, driving forward with the ball. And he wasn't losing it as much before. Usually he would just fucking run and fall over the ball. Do you know what I mean? Like, he was better with the ball. The only thing I would say is his decision-making sometimes to release the ball could have been a bit quicker. But, overall, it wasn't bad. Do you know what I mean? The back three, well, we're going to do them in a minute, actually. It's worth talking about it. And Mendy, because Mendy seems to get a lot of it. But in terms of the way he's set up, I knew he was going for 3. Some people said, go for the 4, go for the 4. Have you all not learned that we've played the 4, and we've played the 3? We've seen both. When people moan about the 3 system not working and we should switch to the 4, they must have short-term memory loss. I am telling you, it is not the system, it's the personnel in the system now. It gets to a point where Tuchel can play 5 at the fucking back, 5 up front. We are still going to have the same fucking problem because these players, unfortunately, are inconsistent FC. And that's what I'm telling people. Stop blaming Tuchel and the system and saying it's a system thing. He doesn't switch the system. It's not. It's the players and the personnel that's playing in it. That's the problem right now for me. I don't know about you, Lewis, but...
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I just also think as well, like, we know Tuchel's a multifunctional manager and can play various different systems as well. I think it's probably very sticky for him because you can probably play multiple systems with a cohesive team, and we don't have that cohesion in the squad, which I can understand. But I do also think there needs to be some level of accommodation to players as well. And that comes to Lukaku too. Like I already said, one of the most questionable things for me was we never attempted a back 4 or attempted to play a different style to accommodate Lukaku until after the interview and after his confidence was put in the mud. If we go to that 4 at the back next season with different personnel and it's more suited, like, I think there's still more we can get out of Lukaku, 100%. I know, like, he's had opportunities, he's flopped them, he's had big chances, he's flopped them as well. He's still our best striker by a mile. And we need to find a way to get that player working. Because we don't need to go out in the market for another striker. Second season, if it doesn't work, I'd wash my hands of him the same way I wash my hands of anyone who flops in their second season. But right now, I think he's self-inflicted a lot of damage on himself. He's also been put into a system that he clearly does not suit at all. And he's done it without a pre-season. Now, there's a lot that he's to blame for, but I'm not just going to scapegoat him for this season or to say it's all finished and done. I do believe there's more that can be done. But personnel has to change. We need to be smarter as a team. We need to recognize the runs that him, Havertz, and Werner make when they make those quick runs because we play too slowly with the ball. We play way too slowly with the ball. And that's the reason why these guys don't get as many chances because they'll make the runs and they will just get ignored. So we need to be better on that as well.
100%. I agree with that. That's one thing that really pisses me off, actually, the way we do not reach the release the ball enough. I feel like a lot of the times they just stare at their feet too much. Like they're always looking at their feet. They're never looking up.
Just heads down or they're looking at the closest option to them.
It's not just Havertz. This is Mason Mount. And I know Mason Mount is, to some people, God of Chelsea. But he does the same thing. Do you know what I mean? Like he can be very inconsistent in his performances. You know, Havertz is the same. Pulisic is the same. Ziyech, people go, oh, he doesn't get any games. Ziyech doesn't play in a 3. Tuchel doesn't play him in a 3 because he doesn't work in a 3. He's a 4 system player. And that's why, again, I am not sure with Ziyech. Like, that's not good enough for me. You're in your prime. You should be able to adapt, my man. Like, you know, we're going to get to the players anyway. But Clutch, it's a combo, not one or the other. No definitive thing. The players don't fit the system, but we don't change to fit them. But I think the issue with that, when we say, but we don't change to fit them, the issue I got with it is that we could play to Romelu Lukaku's strengths, right? We could all just build around Romelu Lukaku. But how does that mean that it's going to work for Pulisic? How does that mean it's going to work for Ziyech? How does that mean it's going to work for Mount, Havertz? It's not. That's my fucking problem with it. We have too many players that are either north, south, east, or west. There's no chemistry.
I think it could work for the likes of Pulisic. Ziyech, it will only work if we play in a 4. Kai, he's only at his best in the middle, but then your output needs to be better. Be more consistent, and people aren't going to talk about Lukaku. It goes the same for both.
But what I'm saying, Lou, is if you build around one player, it doesn't mean that the whole team's going to benefit from it. Like, do you know what I mean?
But we're talking about a whole personnel change. So if we're doing a whole personnel change, I'm starting to think like who's in there and who's in there that we can get the best out. I could say we'll be more fluid with Kai, fair enough, but like I need output, not fluidity. Yeah. The same thing with Werner. We're more fluid with him, but doesn't mean that we score more goals. The fact is we need goals and we need creativity.
Balance. Well, we don't have a balance. We're either blooming hot or cold. And like
exactly.
you said, we're great with Havertz and we look very good on, as a team when he's on the pitch because we move the ball well and stuff. But, he's not finishing off the chances when we're making them. And then you look at Lukaku, who don't fit the system. But if you give him a little smell like you do yesterday, he will take his chance. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. It's just a mess from me when I think about it. It just looks an absolute mess. We're going to do the player ratings, guys. So make sure you smash the likes, please. Let's get this over 100 likes, over 130. You guys here. Big up, everyone. Thank you for tuning in as well, as always. Let's start with Edouard Mendy because a lot of people were still finding it a good reason to criticise him, especially for yesterday's performance. For me personally, I don't think it was his fault, that second goal. I don't think he could have done much more. If you put Kepa in the goal, would he have saved that? I don't think so. I just thought it was poor defensively and midfield, should I say both, actually, that, led to them getting the goal they did. But in terms of Edouard Mendy's performance, I remember him making one good one and one save, which was okay. Yes, he's not in great form. I get that. People keep saying, yeah, but he's not playing well, blah, 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 blah. But in this game specifically, I can't point my finger at Mendy and say it was his fault. So for me, I would probably give him a 5, personally, or a 5.5. But what about you, Lewis?
Yeah, around about that. Didn't really have much to do. Even though Wolves had a lot of shots, like they were shooting wide, which is why I'm saying like they'll be very annoyed with their finishing in that game. Could have done better in terms of controlling his box a bit more, but in terms of goals, I don't really hold any blame towards him. So yeah, 5, 6, one or the other, really.
That's what I'm saying. I find it very hard to just keep.
People are getting at Mendy on this game because they've had issues in the last few games, but he ain't to blame on this one.
You get rid of him, you throw Kepa in. Is it making a massive difference? That's my point. Does it change the way we're playing? Do you see Chelsea's goals?
You just play out the back better. That's about it.
Well, fine. I don't know.
No, but in terms of shot stopping, there's not much different. There's not much improvement.
3-5. Oh man, that Will Bowley from Wolves was good last. Like bloody monster, he is. He's a good player. He can be annoyingly good, actually.
Massive man. I see him turning up our players as well. It's ridiculous.
Sarri ball is more beautiful than Tuchel ball. But I don't know if you class sideways football beautiful because that's what Sarri ball was as well. So let's not do that.
No, Sarri ball was more aesthetically pleasing. I'll give him that, but.
We dominated games. It's boring to watch sometimes because all we've done was go sideways.
Yeah, but the thing with Sarri is you always got to give him the second season to really see. It takes a year to build that system. So I got it.
But why?
We never saw the fruit of it. Well, to be honest, we did the Europa League final. That was liquid football.
Yeah, I remember that. That was good. Is that when we beat Arsenal?
Yeah.
Saying that, I think people forget how short Thomas Tuchel's been here as well. He's not even been here just over a year now, isn't he? So,
he hasn't had a signing, so that's why I wouldn't really compare the two.
Yeah, exactly. Right, let's go to. Do you know what? I'm gonna let you start that one, and then I'll say after. Tell me what you think.
I don't really know what he did that was that wrong. In all honesty, like. Maybe he was caught off position a few times, but the only annoying thing was him letting Trincao to his left. Other than that, not necessarily to blame for anything, really. 5, let's say, 5.
I think he's been underwhelming, personally. I think part of the reason why we don't look solid at the back, and I'm not blaming it, I do still think the majority of it is the midfield, but part of the reason why we don't look as strong at the back is because of him as well. I just feel that he's lost that, what's the word? He's lost that, like, dominance in his performance. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like he's not as commanding in his last couple of games. I feel like he's it's just like his mind's somewhere else for me. Like, I don't know. I just feel Rudiger's just not been the same since we've announced that he's announced going to Real Madrid. That's not good for me. That's not good for me. And there's always been the criticism of Rudiger. He's been playing very well and putting in 8 out of 10 performances, but the consistency side still stands for someone like him. Can he play in a different system, etc., etc. He's now going to Real Madrid. Will he be able to provide the same level of performances as what he's done at Chelsea? We'll have to wait and see. But I don't know with Rudiger. I'm a little bit annoyed with his performance. I'll give him a 5.5 or 5. I thought he was quite average, personally.
Yeah, same. Like, just nothing special. That's a 7.
7. I don't know about the 7, though, bro.
I said a 7. Like, anyone. Oh, man.
Not a 7 for me, bro. Not a 7 for me. Someone I thought did have a good game, other than the goal again, is this guy. But he's always having a good game. The only one that really.
That's the thing.
Do you know what I mean?
Just standard Silva performance. Very unlucky with the header. And I only say unlucky because his performance was so good. Didn't really justify a moment like that. Like, he's going to be annoyed at how that ended. Is what it is. But other than that, he was flawless. Every single time they tried... When they were counter-attacking, they weren't countering through Silva. It was through either the right side or the left-hand side. Anytime they tried to go near Silva, they lost the ball. Every time they tried to take on Silva, they lost the ball. And every time he got the ball, he just continued the build-up play. Did his job to perfection. That is a 7 performance for me. But yeah. I don't even know if I can give 7 based off the way the game ended. So if you say 6, I can understand it.
I love Thiago Silva. I think he's the player of the season for me. He's been the most consistent, even through the shittest of periods. But yesterday, I thought he was... I thought he was very good again. The only thing I would question on him, and I find it hard to do, but that goal, he loses the first tackle. He falls on the floor. He gets back up. He tries to get himself back into position. The ball goes over his head, and then Cody gets on the end of it, and it's in the back of the net. Maybe if you're going to be critical of him, you could say he was ball watching, which is unusual for him because he's always usually very good of his surroundings. But other than that, I find it hard to criticize the guy. He's the only one for me that is stepping up and playing at a level that he should be playing at. And he's 38 years old now, guys. He's nearly 40, this guy. That's how embarrassing. Look at all the other players we've got that are meant to be in their primes, and you've got a 38-year-old Thiago Silva dominating the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? I just find it funny. For me, it was a 7. 7.
Yeah,
so
I could see a 7.
Jordan, you want to give him a 7.5, bro? I'll allow that, mate. 7, Steven, 6. Man is a grandpa. He gets a pass. Man is a grandpa. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, he's saying 4 for what happened. No, I hear that as well, man. Hear that. 4? You sure? Bro? Come on, man.
He's probably real pissed about that performance.
AC settings equals automatic plus 2 points in grading. Is what Chelsea the kick players say. All right, let's move from him because, again, I don't feel he's a problem. But one that I feel is a problem, and I feel, again, very hard to sort of criticise him, but we've got to talk about it because, like, Lewis, the decline of Azpilicueta, is it as bad as Ivanovic?
Oh, no. I'll never say as bad as Ivanovic. Ivanovic single-handedly was taking us to fucking 15th place. And it was a night and day disappearance. He was getting smoked by everyone. Azpi isn't getting one-on-one dominated like I'm seeing, but there's just a lot of individual mistakes. There's a lot of sloppy passes. And it's just a clear decline in the overall ability. Ivanovic was just a training cone at that point, respectfully. They just ran round him.
But he was bad yesterday, though, man.
He was very bad. He was very bad. I don't know what the switch has been with him. I think it's just been a case of he's achieved everything at Chelsea now. And the motivation has dropped a little bit. Not voluntarily, but I think it has. Which is a shame. But... it's a situation we're in right now. We need to respectfully move forward from him. But yeah, he was poor. Very, very poor yesterday. Give him a 2.
Oh, Matty, man.
Oh, dear. Oh dear. Matty moving like prime go AM.
Do you know what I mean? As an Arsenal here, do you think you're part of the top four? Just interested to hear your thoughts on what you think about it.
Yeah, now we are.
I would,
It's
if
the
you'd
first time I'd straight up say it.
said no, but now we're in a bit of trouble because I've not seen any real way how we're going to get out of not, of winning a game. We just don't look like we can hold a win, even when we do win, or even win games at the moment. So I just don't know. I don't know. Thomas Tuchel's got a big job on his hand these next 3 games. I'm telling you, 4 games, you would say, with the Liverpool. Azpilicueta yesterday. I mean, you look at the Everton game. That fuck up he done, what led to Everton getting 3 points. Ridiculous. This game, I said in the first half that, and it wasn't just him, I said Reece James as well. I said that they were both non-existent. Our right-hand side was stinking up the first half. They were so bad. We were giving the ball away. They were out of position. They couldn't cross to save their lives. Azpilicueta, his positional sense was awful. He's trying to pass simple passes to the right to Reece James, and he's like getting intercepted and losing the ball in really bad positions. And you're right, Wolves could have. People keep undermining what Wolves did yesterday. Wolves could have, if they were more clinical, we could have been 2-0 behind by half time. I'm not joking.
They could have smoked us.
They had fucking good chances yesterday. We had fuck all in the first half, other than Werner, to be fair, which was a goal for me. That was not a goal. But Azpilicueta, bro, I just feel that he needs to go. I'm being honest. But how can I say respectfully, but how can I say that when we're losing Rudiger and Christensen already anyway? It's just fucking like, it's just, I don't know, man. If Rudiger was staying, I would have said Aspie, Christensen, see you later. If Rudy and Christensen was supposed staying, I would have just said Aspie, definitely see you later. Do you know what I mean? But that, it's just fucked. Our defense situation is fucked and it's stressing me out. I'm actually having bad sleep.
The rest of them so inexperienced, we have to rely on at least one of the 3. And they all have their heads checked out right now.
I'm happy with a 3. I don't care at this point.
I would have said 2, but fairs.
4 fairs, 2s. I don't care. 2s, whatever you want to give the guy, it was just not good enough. Aspie playing at wing back annoys me I actually thought the only position he could play Devin was where he played, the right centre back. That was the only position I thought, play him there. Don't play him. I hate seeing him as a wing back. I think he's atrocious. But even at right centre back, he's been absolutely stinking up the place as well. But we move. This is just painful, man. I've not done one rating for the last couple of games where I've been happy. I'm just fucking stressed all the time. I get stressed looking at their faces, bro. I get stressed looking at their faces.
All piss me off personally.
Come on in, talk about this guy, because was he even playing yesterday? I didn't even know he was on the pitch.
He played the first half, and I didn't think he was that bad, in all honesty, because most of our decent plays were coming from the left-hand side. At the start, he wasn't doing well. His crossing was all over the place, but he got into it as the first half progressed. There was some decent balls into the box, good decision making, and then surprisingly came off at halftime, which I didn't really understand. I guess maybe he was just resting him for the Leeds game, but yeah, I didn't think Alonso was that bad personally. I'd give him a 4. Just because he played the first half and that was it.
It wasn't that he was bad. It was, where was he? I didn't really. I get that he had a couple good crosses here and there, but you just don't get anything else from him. In this system, you need to have wing backs that are heavily involved in the game for Chelsea to be looking good. I'm telling you, look what
100%. But we tried playing off the right and nothing was coming off. James and Aspie were not there, and the deliveries were just poor. Alonso and Werner, to an extent, on the right, at the very least, were giving us some sort of output there. But yeah, I thought Alonso wasn't that bad.
I'll give him a 5 personally. I ain't got much more to say other than go to Barcelona and let us get on with improving this squad, because
showing that he's one of the players that is actually more switched on, surprisingly.
Yeah, I can't see him next season. I'm sorry.
Same.
I can't. Emerson's back. I'm assuming we're probably going to tie him down to another contract. We're going to still need. Do you know what
Emerson wants out?
We'll have Chilwell back. Yeah, and then we'll probably tie Emerson down as well, unless we sell him to Juventus or whatever. Yeah, and that will be our 2 left fucking wing backs for the next season. Watch, see it happening. Let's move from that. Let's go to Reece James.
Not the best.
I don't know. I think he's been very.
Sure, 1 or 2 decent balls in, but other than that, it was just another disappointing performance from him. But again, straight out of injury, and we're trying to rely on him so much that I can't really blame him too much because we know what he's capable of too. And I'm 100% not questioning his mentality. I think it's just a case of him recovering from injury. So just need to be a bit slower with him. But 4 wasn't great.
I just feel like he's very. He was poor. I banged on about Aspie on the right, him on the right. He was making too many touches, too long with the ball. Wasn't very. He wasn't Reece James. Like, he just wasn't Reece James. That's it. That is literally it. And maybe we just at that point now where we're so heavily reliant on certain personnel that we know can play very good and just pull it across the line. And when they're not doing it, we are in big trouble. We are being usually in big trouble. And I just feel that with Reece James, he's not been at the levels the last couple of games. And maybe it's a thing of, is he being overplayed or, trying to be a bit wary about the final. But I don't get why these guys are on holiday in their heads. We look where we put ourselves in terms of position. If we'd have won our last 2 games, we wouldn't have had to worry about the Premier League. Then they could have just concentrated on the Liverpool game, been prepared for that mentally. But now they've got to go into these stupid games, the Premier League games, along with the final, and put in performances. It's just frustrating. It's really annoyed me that we've got into this position. 5, 4. I'm happy with any of these 4, 5s. Coach Corner, yeah, we will. We'll open it up in a bit, mate. We're just flying through these, and we'll get back to it as well. We'll definitely open up 4. 4's all right. Do you want to say much about Sal Niguez? I don't really know what to say. Did he do anything?
I barely saw him do anything, in all honesty.
4.
Goes on the pitch. This is another 4.
All right, cool. What about Mateo Kovacic? Because barring that individual error against Trincao, which was a very good goal, by the way, how good was he?
Yeah, I thought that one was a bit unlucky. And from my perspective at the time, I think Kovacic didn't really have a lot of options. I might need to rewatch it again if I'm wrong, but I didn't really blame Kovacic for that dispossession leading to the goal. I thought it was just a bit unlucky from him, in all honesty. Other than that, was decent in possession. Didn't really have a lot of highlights, but didn't really have any shockers other than that dispossession leading to the goal. So I'll probably go for a 5. Yeah, 5. Standard 5 or 6.
All right, cool. I'm just opening the window because I'm fucking hot in here. It's hot today, isn't it?
Yeah, no, weather's baking right now.
I'm sitting here with all the windows shut, and I'm like, I'm getting hot. What's going on here?
So yeah, he had a comfortable performance.
Yeah.
Just unlucky with the equaliser.
He's so important, though, right? If anything's good about Chelsea, it's him, isn't it? He's been one of the best players this year, I'd say, again, Mateo Kovacic.
Yeah, it's been a shame he's been so injury-prone this year because we've needed him a lot.
Cover bumped into Rudiger before that goal went in. I know that.
What, the second goal? The first goal?
The Trincao goal, right? Rudiger's, and I blame Rudiger for this again. He's backing off. Yeah, Kovacic is running, following his man who runs behind Rudiger, and then Rudiger and Kovacic run into each other, which then creates a space for Trincao to bend it round Mendy. It was just dumb. It was such a dumb goal, to be honest. Other than it was a great finish.
I'm looking back at this first goal now. So he's meant to bump into.
Watch, you'll see it. You'll see him run into Rudiger. Rudiger should have come out. Rudiger's just backing off. That's why I got annoyed.
Oh, fucking hell.
Rudiger and Kovacic.
Oh, my gosh.
Trincao has that little bit of space. You see it. And that space allows him to bend the ball around because of them two run into each other.
Not even looking. Oh, fucking hell, man. Okay, fair. Yeah, you know what? Take him down to a 5. Take him down to a 5. Fuck it. Because that's 2 errors now leading to the same goal. Forget. That's him. You know what? I take back my Rudiger rating. He can have a +1.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you. What was Rudiger? Why was Rudiger backing off him? Why did he not just go to him? The normal Rudiger would have got into his face, forced him to have to move the ball quickly.
Rudiger would have just ran straight into him before.
No, that's what I'm saying. He would have bullied him off the ball, right? That's what Rudiger does. What? But there, he backs off. He He allows Trincao to then go on his left foot, which is his strongest foot.
I think he's just shook because Trincao's got a lot of space to work with. Rudiger's marking about 20, 30 yards.
Shocking. Look at Rudiger, the way he's trying to defend Trincao before Kovacic runs into him. It's not good. That's what I'm saying, Joe. That's why I'm just not happy with Rudiger as well. He could have done so much better in that position.
He freezes. That's like what we used to shit on Cahill for in his bad years.
Mate, that was a Malang Sarr right there. I'm not joking. That is something Malang Sarr would have done. Because it's Rudiger, we don't talk about it. Like
Yeah,
that was
Kova can go down to a 5.
Kova for me was a 5.5. I thought his overall game was actually good. He moved the ball very quickly, done his bit, but them two calamities just did not help his cause. But Ruben Loftus Buttcheek being asked to play in that role again as a 6, but being asked to play as the deeper of the two. I don't know what to say. What do you want to say about this? I genuinely don't know what to say about this. It just gets boring.
Decent ball progression. Does keep his head down a bit too much. But again, it just feels like typical Ruben. But that's why I don't expect a lot from him. I really don't. He's a depth player for us. Fill him in a position where we need filling in. Does a job and we move. But if you expect anything more from Ruben, then more fool you, innit? No, I'm not saying you. I mean anyone.
Yeah, no, I'm saying he's 26 years old, Lewis. And the way people still talk about him as if he's this young boy. He's meant to be in his prime. This Ruben isn't getting any... look, he might get a little bit better.
This is what his peak is for us.
This is what we're getting for the next... This is him in his prime.
Ruben needs a team that's fit around him, and he just doesn't have the quality for that at Chelsea. So while he's at Chelsea, he is just going to be depth. And I don't mind him being depth, in all honesty, because I don't think that's a bad role for him. I think if you use him sparingly and he comes in to fill a role, you can get a good game out of him. And when you have depth, you also, to a point, some of them you can't really expect too much, because if they would, they wouldn't be depth signings. Yeah, so if he's going to be long-term for us, that's his role.
This is quite deep, but I'm at this point now where I don't give a shit anymore. I'm just so done with some of these players, right? He is what is very pleasing to the eye when he drives with the ball. It makes everyone excited. Oh, wow, he just ran through 2 players. Yeah, and then he tries to do that final pass, right? If you take out that, what else does he do?
Nothing. His passing isn't progressive. He's forgotten how to finish. I remember when he was young, one of his biggest attributes was his finishing. That's completely disappeared. Positional play, not great. Defending transitions, not that great. He knows how to use his strength, and he can drive with the ball, but that's it. That's just it, really. But again, like squad player.
It may sound like I'm being deep, and some people don't want to have this conversation, but we need to look at it as it is. We are Chelsea fucking Football Club. Our fucking standards should be up there. Not this beautiful player that runs with the ball.
Anyone who thinks Ruben should be starting is clueless.
Like,
as a bench option, I don't mind. As long as we don't have to rely on him, so I don't care. Like, he's not as bad as Barkley.
Lewis, I've had discussions with people in here that defend him and say, yeah, but he's a good, he can play right wing back, he can play here. He's not versatile. He gets asked to play in the role, which affects him even more. He is an 8. And if you don't play him as an 8, he is ineffective. Even as a right wing back, when people got excited because he ran forward the ball sometimes and, passed the ball forward. Other than that,
he's okay at right wing back, but that's it.
His positional awareness. Yeah, but his positional awareness in wing back and as a central midfielder or 6 is not there. So, I don't know, man. I just feel like we need to be honest with ourselves when it comes to Ruben. But again, being forced to play in a position he shouldn't be playing in is what it is. I'd give him a 4, personally. Not good enough for me whatsoever. He's an excellent squad player at the moment. But what does that mean, Bobby? Is he? We're not even winning games. Do you know what I mean? I don't get this. He's an excellent squad player. Not a defensive bone in Ruben's body. Exactly, Matt. Exactly. Let's move. Fuck me, we've done the midfield, didn't we? That is the midfield. Let's try and be a little bit more positive, shall we? Let's talk about Christian Pulisic, who hasn't been the greatest again this season, but he was asked to play in a 10 role yesterday. Some people were a little bit reserved. Some people thought, yes, this is now we get to see him with the freedom role. What are your thoughts on him?
Very good. One of the few positives, and I want to see him in that 10 role a lot more. He's always going to be dribbling with the ball with a good amount of close control. He'll keep it tight to him. And it was all just about the end product. But the end product was very good from him. I thought there was sometimes the decision-making could have been better, but it was promising. It created chances, and it got rewarded with an assist too. I want to see him that position a lot more, personally. Give him a
6.5 is quite a good one. Actually,
So I was thinking in between a 6 and a 7. So yeah, that's fair.
Matty absolutely hates Pulisic. He calls him Pulisic. Matty, come on, man. No agendas, man. He don't think he had a good
He
game.
don't rate AC anyway, so I understand. Big
um,
up yourself anyway, bro.
Yeah, big up everyone in the chat though, guys. Make sure we're smashing that like button as well. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, please, as well. Let's get these likes over 100, please. I thought Christian Pulisic was good yesterday. I did. I thought he done everything well. The only thing I think he could have maybe done a little bit better was his decision making in the final third of his passing sometimes. But other than that, he was good with the ball at his feet. He found himself in space. He picked the ball up. He drived into the space. It looked good. It looked good. It worked, especially in the second half when you think about how end to end it was and all the space that was available for him to sort of run into and link up play and do his bits and bobs. He had an overall good game. Again, like we're going to get to the other one in a second, where, the biggest question mark with someone like him is the consistency. If Tuchel now sticks to this and goes, do you know what? You played really well, even though we drew that game. I'm going to give you another go on that. I need to see the same level performance. I need to see you growing in that role. And that's the biggest problem. We don't tend to see that from any of our forwards. So the biggest question mark now is, can he continue and show us a little bit of consistency going into the end of the season? That's the only thing. But in this game, he was decent. 6.5 is fine with me. I like Pulisic, but I just feel like he's hot and cold. That's all it is.
Yeah, definitely hot and cold. But right now, everyone in our attack is cold. So I'm just going for whatever I see immediately. And immediately, Pulisic and Lukaku have impressed me. So I'm going to run with what's impressed me because nothing else has the last few games.
What is making me laugh is we've got Clutch in the house, David in the house. Big up to you. Massive Pulisic fan. Massive. And then we've got Matty in the house, who both of these two met on Twitter and had a blooming Twitter war between a Pulisic drama, shall we say. One was saying he was bad, one was saying he was good. They're both in the chat right now as well, Matty.
Both of you, when the lines are open, man, I want to see you guys here. I need to hear
this. Clutch, if you're available, come in, man. Matty, I want to see you here as well, because you said yesterday you feel we didn't have a good game again, and I need to understand why. So if you're about, come in. JJ Bridge, big up to you, my guy. Nice to see you in the house as well. There, he's laughing as well.
David's in here as well, my guy.
David, I can't. You're gonna want the link, aren't you? David, you ain't got Twitter, mate. You make this complicated for me because now I have to WhatsApp to you, which means I've got to email this link to myself. So now this takes me even longer to do. So, all right, while I'm doing that, Lewis, let's go away from Christian Pulisic and let's talk about. I'll let you start with Timo Werner. That's a good one.
There, that's my rating.
I was thinking, why has it got so quiet? Tell me.
What was there to talk about? It's atrocious, man. The guy spent the whole second half chasing his touch. Finishing was fucking embarrassing. Ball control, non-existent. Positioning was all right. Another one that doesn't keep their head up. Lukaku screaming for the ball, and all he does is just weakly hit the first man from a low cross. Just poor. Just so bad. Like, the only reason why it doesn't get put in the spotlight as much was because we bottled the 2-goal lead. But absolutely invisible. Like, I think there was an offside goal that he got given that I think was meant to have counted. I didn't look back at it. If it did, that might have changed the rating. It would have given him a +1 or something. But I don't judge based off goals. I judge based off the overall performance. And the overall performance was arse. Absolute arse. So 2.
Do you think he's done? Do you think he's done at it?
Been done. I was happy with the run of form in April, but I knew it wasn't going to last. Just here to enjoy it while it's there. But please just be done with it in the summer, man. If he lasts a 3rd season, if he fucking lied, let me not start. Because it's not even just him.
Again, it goes back to what most of them are for me. They're just all inconsistent as well, and that's the big thing. Clutch, I did drop you. Can't come on today, but gave my thoughts. All right, fair enough. But you have got the link anyway. If you want to come in, it would have been nice.
7.5.
Glenn goes to 7.5. 4, 5.5. Werner was great. I gave him a 7.5. That's what Glenn feels like. Feels like he was very good.
Every attack he had, he killed himself.
Look, Timo Werner. for me, unfortunately, even though I do feel he has been scapegoated quite a bit from our fan base. I do think there's times where he's an easy target to pick on when he's not playing well. But in yesterday's,
I bring up Aldro's comment. Oh my gosh.
Simmons was brave. Fuck it.
I'm done, man. The comment section's been getting more ruthless recently. I've noticed it.
Honestly,
they're finished with this team too.
I'm surprised Goham ain't here yet. Usually he pops along at some point. Yeah, look, he wasn't good yesterday. He made runs. He did score a goal, which was a goal for me. I'm still going to stick to that. He did score a goal. That was a goal, but as Timo Werner has had most seasons, his luck.
Fair enough. I would have just raised it to a 3 if he scored.
But to be honest, his overall game, his decision-making, his passing in individual key moments, it was all just not there. And I keep saying it, he is not a left-sided player. You do not play him as a left-sided forward and then ask him to hold that position. It's just not his game. Like, he can't, he's not the greatest at taking somewhat people on. All he does is he gets the ball and then he just kicks it in front of him and runs and just tries to outpace the guy. 9 times out of 10, it kind of might work, but at the same time, it's very predictable. It's just very predictable from him. He weren't good enough yesterday for me. I'm not sticking up for him. He wasn't. For me, it was a 3, 4 max. Like, it just wasn't good. I wouldn't trust Werner to order a pizza as Winter Surfer says. Timber for me was good, just technically he was so bad. That's what Coach's Corner is saying as well. Some people think he was not that bad. I don't think he was great, personally. And that's me saying that. And I'm not a massive Timo Werner fan, but I'm definitely not a hater of him. Romelu Lukaku steps up with 2 goals yesterday. For me, he had a bit of a mixed performance. I'll let Lewis go first. Lewis? Romelu Lukaku, is he back?
2 goals. I thought for a while he should be on penalties, and respectfully, I like Jorginho's penalties and everything, but he doesn't need them. Lukaku needs them, at least for the confidence boost. So I used the West Ham game as an example too. We could have been in this position earlier if it was him that took the penalty, because if he scores, the fans are chanting his name and he gets to show them a bit of appreciation. So personally, Lukaku needs to be on penalties from now. And also, in terms of the overall performance, first off, I do think he was a bit wasteful with some of his chances, but I saw intent. I saw him actually pressing, some decent link-up play in some areas as well. I'm not going to go too out there with the player ratings, but I'll say 7, probably a 7. Not going to act like he was amazing, but I thought I saw a massive improvement in him from the last few months.
I know this is very random, but I've got to bring this up because this is just bamboozled my head. Are they serious about this?
Oh,
what the fuck is
this? I thought Man U versus Chelsea was a mid-off. Fuck me.
It's happening. Astrid Wet has just put this up on a thing. Settling scores. Astrid Wet versus Ellie Brook Saturday at the O2 Indigo, bro. They've actually got the O2 Indigo on this as well.
I'm going to say this straight for the comment section. Any of you lot buy a ticket, you need to have a deep, hard look at yourself.
This is purely purely.
But here's the thing: everyone will just take the piss out of this and mock them, and just promote it even more.
It's going to get loads of views.
Why the game is rigged, because people complain about it or people simp about it. This is just a horrific mid-off that's going to be a terrible boxing match. I am not watching this. I don't care what happens.
You know that people will watch it because they're going to want to watch 2 women punching each other's faces in. Let's be serious. It's going to.
Attempting to.
Attempting to, yeah. And to be honest, I don't really care who wins. I don't really pay any attention to.
I don't give a fuck about this mid-off.
I saw them slapping each other up in the bar for 2 seconds when they saw it. It's a bit of a coincidence that they were there. I mean, it might just be funny to go just for the bands and have a drink, but then you're paying a ticket to watch this.
I am not even. No, just ashamed of saying that you even went to that shit. I'm good. Fuck that,
anyway,
man.
Guys, if you want to get a ticket to Astrid Wet versus Elbrick, go and check it out on her social page now.
If that even sells out.
Astrid Wet.
You know what? I saw someone put a quote tweet saying Vladimir just pressed the button and just nuke us already. I'm here for it. Fuck me, man. This is mid off. Get out of here, man. Get out of here.
Yeah, David, how you doing, mate?
Oh, I'm good.
Sorry, we are coming back to football, but saying just popped up.
Oh,
and it just,
I've just seen the first name. I don't even want to know what's going on.
yeah, it's a boxing fight in the Indigo Hotel. Yeah. Anyway, we've got our own problems to deal with. Let alone watching Astrid Wet try and punch up someone.
Why is she associated with us? Why?
Because they had a bit of beef in the bar. All of a sudden, they've got a contract agreement with Eddie Hearn, probably.
Fake beef. It's just everyone makes the game so easy for the. I'm so sick of the world. I'm so fucking tired.
I know who wins this match. The only winners will be Kleenex tissues. They'll get some.
You will get pissed about them, and then you promote their shit. I fucking despise how easy it is for some people sometimes. Fuck out of here, man.
Lewis has had enough, mate. Lewis is on one. David, perfect timing, actually, because we're on the talks of this man going through the player ratings. And obviously, he had many people were happy and saying, has he turned the corner? Romelu Lukaku's 2 goals against Wolves. Do you feel that it was a better performance overall, or do you just think he just took his chances when they landed to him?
I think it was a better performance overall. I feel like he had like more energy. To be honest, I just felt like he wanted to run yesterday. If I'm being genuinely honest, like I genuinely feel like the biggest thing yesterday was that he just ran more, or like appeared to at least like actually care, which is okay, I guess. He got his 2 goals, which is fair enough. We still didn't win because I just think he's bad vibes. No one's gonna change my opinion on this. Whatever he does. Like it's just linked to something bad's going to happen after. Like I'm just convinced of it because there's something about him. It's not clicking. It's not going to click at Chelsea. It's not going to click.
Terrible.
But at least he scored. But you know, I'm kind of done with him, to be honest. The only way he can revive it, if he scored a hat trick, against Liverpool next week, then he might just become my favourite player.
Do you still think he needs to go though for you?
Yes, yeah, I think he needs to go.
You don't think there's no way in hell he can change this or become?
I just don't think he suits what you will require to win this league. Personally, I just don't think he suits it.
Is that because we just ain't playing to his strengths, or is it just because he's just not good enough?
I heavily worry about playing to his strengths because it's like once teams figure out how to shut it down, it will be incredibly impossible to score. And 2, I just don't think he's a good enough talent for you to say we need to focus all our energy into this one person.
I mean, you ain't got to tell me twice. You know how I feel about it personally. But I know Lewis is on a bit of a bandwagon for Lukaku right now, aren't you, Lewis? He wants.
Man, I want the redemption arc to work. I won't even lie to you. I really do. And he does have to show it. But good first game. Not gonna jump to conclusions off it or anything. But he's been better than fucking Kai and Werner have been the last few weeks. So don't see any reason why they should be starting up top instead of him.
David, what was your thoughts on that overall game? Where did it go wrong? Why can't we hold a 2-0 lead anymore? What's going on? Like, I
just think everyone's done, to be honest. I think everyone's kind of just written this season off. I think it's that simple. They've got nothing to fight for. And like, yeah, there's this unfortunate thing where Arsenal might finish above us, which I really don't want to happen. But I just do feel like we are like confirmed top 4. I just think we are. So, yeah. I think the players are just. I think the players are like just kind of overconfident. If we play like we did against Wolves, against Watford and Leicester, we'll beat them, and then we're in the top 4. Like it's that simple.
So we've got Leicester, Watford, and Leeds. Do you worry about the Leeds away? Do you think we'll get a job done?
No, I'm not worried about Leeds. Leeds are an awful side. No offense to them, but they're an awful side.
Well, Arsenal only beat them today on 10 men, didn't they?
Yeah, but they're an awful side. We should again. We should be beating.
That means nothing to Chelsea.
We should be beating Leeds, but obviously, right now, that literally does mean absolutely nothing.
We are charity FC, mate. If you're crap and you're down and you need a boost, just come and play Chelsea. We've literally revitalised Eddie Nketiah's fucking career. The guy scored another 2 goals today as well.
He's playing for a contract, man. That's what's going on. He's playing for contracts.
Yeah, but it's started
he's got a motive. And when he signs wherever he plays, yeah, he's gonna go back to being Eddie Nketiah. So
You feel that Rudiger and Christensen, the people that have already agreed to leave this football club, have gone a little bit under par, shall we say, since it's been announced?
They don't care. I mean, I know Lewis loves Christensen, but I'm kind of done with him. Before even the contracts became a thing, like he was just performing very badly. And then after that,
Agree to disagree.
yeah, I know. And then Rudiger, like, I don't really get it. I think he's almost gone too crazy now. Guy's trying too much, and it's not coming off. And the defense is just going AWOL. The only defender who looks like he knows what he's doing is Thiago Silva. But unfortunately, yeah, when you're 3-on-1, yeah, you can't really do much at this level. So,
What is wrong with our midfield?
our midfield is awful. That's genuinely what it is. Like we have three midfielders who are the same in a different package. We have Kante, Kovacic, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who are all the same player, but they all do it in various different ways in differing successes. But there's not much point in having all three of them because we don't have someone in our midfield who can actually create chances. We just don't. Like Kovacic and I like lot for me. If you want to keep Loftus-Cheek as a Chelsea fan, I think you're just sick in the head. Like that's pure sentimentality. The guy is 26 or 25, however old he is. He's not gonna be at the required level. He scored
He's
one
got potential, man.
He scored one goal all season, and because it was in the FA Cup semi-final, everyone was like, "Oh my god, he's back!" No, get rid of him. But like Kovacic and Kante are the same player in terms of they just progress the ball really well. They just don't have that final ball on them. And Kovacic's final ball is improving, but it's not there. We need someone in our midfield who can legit create. Jorginho is Jorginho's just like a niche thing in our squad. No other team has a Jorginho, really.
Hey, Jem, which midfielder lost the ball in the midfield yesterday, gave away a goal?
That was Kovacic, yeah.
Oh no, let's not do this.
Yeah,
okay. I'm just saying. I'm hearing a lot of bullshit coming out of about one or two individual players when there was one that really was at fault there. So,
Josh, I have a simple question. You're in the summer. We're going to sell one midfielder. Are you selling Kovacic?
No, Jorginho.
What? Jorginho over Loftus-Cheek?
Absolutely,
okay.
Absolutely. Ruben is great squad depth.
Oh no. Oh, this ain't the hill to die on, man.
He's comparing shit with shit at the moment.
You don't think he's good squad depth?
I don't know if Ruben's going to play. I think
I don't mind Ruben as depth. Fairs.
I heavily mind Ruben as depth.
Even as depth. Yeah, fairs. I don't really care, to be honest. Keep him as depth or sell him, whatever.
I don't know why everyone is. He's not a 6. I don't know what everyone is so shocked about.
But he's not a 6. But he's right now. He's an 8. Well, everyone says he's an 8, but who's in front of him? Kovacic and Kante, and both of those players are way better.
We don't play with 8s.
Way better. Yeah, if we don't play with 8s, sorry, he's got to go. I'm sorry, this kid Loftus-Cheek is not good enough to the point where you go like, we have to keep him around because if the system changes, we can get him in. He's not that good. He isn't. He's just not.
Matty's saying sell them both. He's talking about Jorginho and Ruben. He thinks they should both go.
I think both of them should go. But I think Jorginho should go for the fact that he has 1 year left on his contract, not the fact people think he's a bad player.
Josh, what are your thoughts on the game, mate?
It's disappointing. I mean, definitely disappointing. I think it's as good offensively as we've looked in about 4 games. Unfortunately, the defense doing the same old shit they've been doing the last, 3 or 4 goes at it. They're just terrible. Again, I'll say this. I've been saying this for almost 2 months now. I don't need to see Azpilicueta play for this club again. He's awful. He's dead. His dead food, man. His legs are gone. He was completely crippled, Reece James' game yesterday because Reece had to play so deep in the first half to cover Azpilicueta that it basically made him non-existent as a wingback. And then eventually Tuchel saw that and he's like, okay, well, let me just switch him because there's no point in having both of them play the same position. He's horrendous. As far as Rudiger goes, he wasn't great yesterday again either. His head is obviously gone. I mean, yeah, it's sad because, again, it's best offensively we've looked in 3 or 4 games, and we should be holding a 2-0 lead and seeing that out with this supposedly solid defense. I mean, that last goal on the cross, I think Mendy has to do better and come out and get a fist on that. He seemed to be standing pat in his goal though, so yeah, it's disappointing. We should be seeing out a 2-0 lead against a terrible Wolves team. It was disappointing. I don't really have much to say about the attack. I thought they were pretty good. I thought Werner was robbed of a goal. That's never a foul.
You thought Werner was good?
I thought he should have had a goal. I mean, I don't think that's a foul. And I thought,
did you think his performance was good?
I thought he was fairly active. Yeah, I mean, he didn't lose the ball that much. He came back. He was very active. He got into space.
You dead off thought Werner played well.
I thought he was okay. I'm not saying. Listen, I'm not saying he was a world beater. I thought he was okay. Like he should have had a goal. And
world beater? No, he couldn't even beat a man. Oh, world beater.
No, do you know again, Lewis? You know what the mad thing is about all of our forwards, and what I think our biggest problem is that none of them are on the same page. That's what I get genuinely.
Yeah,
all of them make awful decisions, and that includes. I'm including the midfielders in this as well. The amount like Lukaku, I can't believe I'm about to defend Lukaku. There was a time when he was literally clean through on goal, and Pulisic has dribbled past. He dribbled past Werner actually. And he's like, give me the ball now because we all know what's going to happen. I'm going to take a touch, it's going to ping forward. So I need as much time as possible, right? And Pulisic is just there, just holding the ball for no reason. I'm thinking, bro, play this guy.
No reason in this team whatsoever.
We have no chemistry in that team. You know, that's the thing. None of them actually work together well enough, I don't think, personally. But
Ultimate team, we'd have like 3 chemistry.
Yeah.
Right, well, that's why it doesn't make any sense to like just play the same front 3 over and over again because we don't really have a best front 3. It's best to just kind of just rotate them in as fresh as possible, and maybe you hit a hot streak for a game or 2 with 2 or 3 guys, and then just keep
what works until it don't work.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's it. Kind of happened yesterday. I mean, we got 2 goals out of Lukaku. Probably Pulisic could have probably had 4 assists easily. And what I would have liked to see though was around 70, 75 minutes. I would have liked to see Mount and Ziyech on. I don't know why he didn't bring Mount on. Like around 70 minutes, we could have used the work rate in the midfield. I thought that was a bit of a miss.
Josh, the issue we have with Mount coming on the pitch now with this 3-5-2 is that as soon as you bring him on, if you take him off of Werner, you can't play him where Werner is because he won't do what Werner does. You know.
Yeah, I would have probably brought him on for Christian, to be honest with you, and brought Ziyech on for Werner, and just done like a straight swap with those 3.
You move him the 10 role into the left-sided role, is what you're saying for Pulisic.
Yeah, well, I would have brought Mount on for Christian and just had him play deeper, kind of more in the midfield, and just had him sort of, keep them from breaking through, basically. Offensively, I wouldn't have been too worried about it. We're up 2-0. We should be able to close out a 2-0 lead. And if you have Mount in that sort of deeper midfield role, he can kind of help out defensively. And then you just have Ziyech and Lukaku. I guess it would have been Havertz at that point. Ziyech and Havertz kind of up top, and if they can get on a counter or something like that, then they can. But I would have more likely just have seen the game out at 2-0.
Matty's over Pulisic.
Well, Matty's a dumb fuck, so I'm not surprised. He wasn't obviously watching the game. Easily could have had 4 assists. Easily, yes.
If Pulisic had a brain and some talent, then we would have. Yeah, he would have had 4 assists. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go to Nick Blue. Nick Blue, what are you saying?
Yeah, hi chaps. Again, Luis, David. Nice to see David. Bro. We don't see him that often. One thing I agree with David today. Usually I don't agree with you, do I? You were saying about Lukaku. You actually said he played well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, the game I told you already on Luis's stream, the game we should have won when we were 2-0 up. We should have controlled the game, but we didn't have a Jorginho in the midfield. We needed Jorginho today, but or Kanti. We needed someone like that. With Ruben and Kovacic, it doesn't work. They both go forward and don't look back. That's the problem. They can't defend, and the defense was terrible. Every single one of them. Rudiger, I love Rudiger, but he was bad as well. His money is not there, like you said. Now the thing is, the Mendy, like Josh said it. You should have come out for that ball. You don't just stand there like a statue. You call Lukaku a statue, but look at Mendy yesterday. That cost us 3 points for me.
No.
Wait a minute, Jim. Wait. Defense should have cleared the ball. I know, but if that's what the goalkeeper's there for. If the defense can't clear the ball, you've got a goalkeeper to do something, and he didn't. Kepa would have done something there for me. But everyone's against Kepa in this fan base.
He wouldn't have done anything.
Except Matt. Yeah. And Lukaku, you can't blame Lukaku. You saw what Johnny was saying. The guy scored 2 goals. The second goal was a great goal. He was the best player on the pitch for Chelsea, but he still gets the hate he doesn't deserve, I'm afraid. And David, you're wrong. I'm willing to have a bet with you. Lukaku will be here next season. If you
No. I think he will be here next season, but I'm saying if I could magic up a world where he just goes and we get somebody else,
all right.
But
we have to give him a look. He might turn up and get the winner final, the FA Cup final. We don't know. Give him the chance. We got Leeds.
If he beats Liverpool in the final, he will.
Like, get in there, minerals, bruv. We didn't finish our conversation on the last stream.
Look, Johnny's all right.
I don't think he had a great game, mate.
Not a cement-booted rhino, it's a mineral-booted rhino.
Jim, it's in your DNA. You're another Johnny, I'm afraid. You hate on Lukaku.
I didn't hate him. It's with me. I don't hate anyone, but I will criticise players when they deserve to be criticised. He's deserved to be criticised massively.
I criticised him when he didn't play well. I told you on your stream.
And I said he scored 2 good goals yesterday. I actually said he did. I said he had a good second half, but now it's about consistency. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that is it.
We give him a chance. Give him a chance to prove everyone wrong. Because it's not easy to go and buy a striker. Because we have to buy. We need the defense and the midfield first of all. Then you can think of a striker. And I hope he does. He turns it around for Chelsea's sake. And Todd Bowley and Tuchel. Yeah.
I do think the game played to his advantage, though. I'm not trying to demine his performance.
You know what?
But the first half, he had 8 touches. Yeah. Let's be serious. Like, he was non-existent. The second half, the game opened up, and Lewis changed. Lewis, why would you change your picture to that? You are proper shameless, and came out, and he had more chances created for him because the game was more open. And what Lukaku likes playing is a counter game, and that's why you saw more of him. I feel, but I just don't know whether he can adapt his game differently. I don't think he can. I don't think he's that player.
If our team play fast, accurate passes to him, that's when he goes. He's a different animal. And then
the second goal wasn't pass accurate. That second goal was a mistake from Wolves. They literally of Neves, wasn't it? I was saying.
That's a great finish, though.
So, it was a great finish.
Yeah, I mean, give the man. I mean, I'm all for Lewandowski, but are we going to get Lewandowski?
Get in here, blood.
Huh?
I'm saying this to Johnny. Get in the stream, bruv. Not hearing
I want to go soon, so I'm going to watch the Formula 1. What time's the Formula 1, David? It's 8:30,
8:30.
Yeah. All right, cool. Coach's Corner.
Hello.
How you doing?
Big up, Hanu. The little man on the stream. I'm happy to see you going on the channels now, learning your trade. Very good for you.
What you got to say, mate?
First, I gotta big up you, Lewis, David, and Nick.
Hell yes.
But all four of you, excellent points. Lukaku, we just, if we can need to see what he can do of someone like that can put in pinpoint balls in for him. And if he can't adapt, then get rid of him. But if we get rid of him, this transfer window, next one, it doesn't matter. And on the game, how did we lose? Because we were in control, then all of a sudden we lost control, and it comes just down to the midfield. And Matt on my stream said Ruben and Kovacic doesn't work together, and we saw that they didn't work. So, yeah, and my question to you all is: Lukaku starting the final?
No. Yes,
Let me switch this. Let me switch this to answer this. If he scores against Leeds, does he play in the final?
If he plays well against Leeds, yes.
He plays, but he don't start.
Why does he not start if he scores against Leeds and scores two
against
games?
Liverpool? We've seen this season that the best thing is the Havertz one. I'm just saying.
Is it?
Yeah,
I think so.
Well,
Actually,
the problem is the case study is messed up because we did get a red card in the first game, but we should have beaten them the first time.
It was Lukaku in the middle that game.
No, it weren't. It came in later.
1-1.
It came in later, didn't it?
No,
they
Lukaku
took the penalty cut.
No.
Yeah, no. In the first game against
right.
when Reece James got the red card, he started that game, and then he didn't start the cup final one. So, and in the cup final, I think that's when
we missed 3 or 4 clear chances in the cup final, didn't we? We should have buried them in that final. We didn't. I think it just depends on the next game. But if I'm Thomas Tuchel, I would probably rest Havertz and Mount now and prepare him for Liverpool. I know they're not in the greatest of forms, but I do think that in the way that they play and how we know Liverpool are going to play this game, I do think that they're probably better because of their energy and movement in running into the spaces and stuff. Lukaku's going to need to see a lot of the ball, and he's going to be quite deep on the halfway line to receiving the ball. He's not going to be anywhere near the box, which is where we know he can be effective. And we're going to ask him to do quite a bit with that. I don't know. I think we need build up.
Yeah, I think that's why he started against Wolves. Lukaku. I think if he will start against Leeds, he will start. Havertz will start in the final. Lukaku will be on the bench, like James said. I can see that happening. Havertz Mel will be back for the final. Yeah,
it all depends because
it looks like.
Let's be real. No one's really done anything to justify a spot in the final. So I don't see why Havertz just takes it. If Lukaku has a good game against Leeds, he has justified a spot in the final.
Yeah,
Lewis, it goes back to what you said earlier about what we get from
just fluidity.
Yeah, the fluidity.
Fair enough, but like I said, I want output over that. Like, if we have better output, cool. But like, if he's been shit for so long, I better see Clutch Havertz in the final because I ain't seen Clutch Havertz.
Lewis, my thing with Liverpool is that I feel like the way you beat them is with like loads of interchanging and playing really quick, like in behind balls. And I just think Havertz is better suited to doing that because Lukaku's like footballing sense is not very good.
Static.
That's my personal opinion.
I don't know. I see a lot of space with a high line that Liverpool will be very tough to beat.
Yeah, but he's not
side trap.
He's not quick like that though. He's not. Like, he just isn't. And like often his touch takes him away from goal, and it's just.
Yeah, but like
I
we
feel
talk
like-
about the
I feel
problem
like-
being him being
Big
fed.
Tim.
I feel like
David
I
has
feel like
PTSD.
the only thing that Lukaku provides is that he will like almost like nullify the effect of Van Dijk, because Klopp will go, you can't let, even though he may not be playing well, he'll be
But
like,
it's
"Don't
also
let
about if you
Lukaku
feed him quickly enough that he'll be able to have space in behind. It's a massive pitch, and Liverpool play high.
Yeah, but Van Dijk and Matip are not slow, or Kanate are slow players. They're not slow players.
Yeah,
bro.
but the same goes with like fucking. They're not slow whether it's Lukaku or Kai. Well, what's the difference?
No, but what I'm saying is we play better when Havertz is leading the line.
Again, I told you it goes back to fluidity versus
I get that.
output.
Against Liverpool, you need the fluidity. You need movement.
Hell,
you need into
Play
spaces.
them both and play Pulisic in behind then.
No,
What
no,
would you
no,
prefer?
No,
What would you
no.
prefer, Lewis? Would you prefer a fucking lamppost for Van Dijk to just sort of stand by and do rings round, or do you want Van Dijk being basically pulled left, right, and centre by Havertz? And I know which one I want. 'Cause
AKA, do you want someone that is going to have less movement and is going to be focused on a more physical battle, or someone who's going to do movement? And
Yeah, but he
make
doesn't
goals?
listen. When you play Liverpool, the way they play, you need to have a pressing game on you. You need to be fluid. You need to have
Fluid,
movement. You ain't got that with Lukaku. With Lukaku, you're one man down in that front line automatically before you've even started.
I wouldn't
Now,
agree on the one man down, but I agree that you do need pressing. So
Yeah,
that's
because
the
he
fair
can't-
point.
He's the worst presser. He's one of the worst pressers I've ever seen.
Well, you heard what he said
That's,
in his
that's
comments.
fair enough,
mate.
and I can understand that point at least. But I don't think that there's a lot in the difference between putting either there right now. There's no good
so
forward.
much more than Lukaku. So much more. Come on. Like,
Listen, Lukaku would be good, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't fucking play him at all if it's my way. No, if I'm the gaffer. But at the end of the day, yeah,
course
you
you
can
wouldn't.
bring him on for the last 10 minutes if it's,
You're not-
if you're winning 2-1 or whatever.
Well,
Just
the gaffer-
fucking have someone there up there to occupy him. But having Lukaku up there with a Van Dijk and who's the other guy? Matip or the other fella, the new signing. What's it? Kanate, is it? Kanate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'd have them two. They'd fucking listen. Let's not forget, right? Let's not forget that cement booted fella got pocketed by John fucking Stones, bruv. All right. What do you think he's going to do against Van Dijk, who's arguably in the best form right now, and Kanate? Let's be real about it. If we're going to be honest, whether he scores against Leeds, whether he scored 2 against Wolves, you know, we should beat Leeds. We should be going to Leeds and enjoying a win to fucking relegate them, which is a bonus for me.
Need to, yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
but at the same time, we need the 3 points. We've got that Tin Pot Club 1 point behind us, which is just fucking embarrassing. We need to sort of just creep away from that, and I think by beating Leeds and then they got the London derby, that will suit us quite nicely. But for me, you've got to play Havertz. Havertz was rested. Mount was rested for the Wolves game. We had enough quality to go and beat Wolves. The bottom line is we lost it in the midfield. The front line didn't help the midfield. The midfield got exposed, and then our back line just fucking went to pot. And that's the problem with us at the minute. There's no balance in our squad and in our team.
Yeah, I don't see as the attack though. It was a midfield that cost us in that game, and the defense. It wasn't the attack.
But my point is, when you play like Mount and Havertz, what Mount especially does is he'll drop into that midfield or into those in between lines of the opposition where they find it hard to come through the middle and actually play possession. That's what Mount does.
Yeah, Mount
No
does
one
that,
else
and he
done
actually has defensive contribution. Kai just does it to continue possession play.
Well, Kai, in my opinion, you know, work rate wise is exceptional. I think he's
Nice, but Werner's work rate's great. It doesn't change the fact that he doesn't do anything.
No, but it's not.
No, but
Havertz
Havertz does more than Werner. That's not.
He has more technical. He has more
fucking-
technical ability, but that's
I
like
agree.
the bars
I
in hell with Werner.
agree. He's been poor in the past couple of games, but all our attackers have been poor at one stage or another this season. For me, he's probably been the most consistent.
He has not been the most consistent.
I
Who
can't
has? Who?
Havertz, he has not been the most consistent.
What?
Well,
Lukaku?
out of all the forwards.
Havertz was a
Well,
ghost
no,
the entire first half of the
If you're
season.
going,
He's only
if
been
you're
good
going
for
number,
about a
if you're
10-game
going
run.
number 9, then fair enough. But if your Mount is the most consistent player in our whole,
Mount's been
fucking
the most consistent
team.
player for us.
But-
this
Yeah, no,
season.
but I'm
if you
talking
take
about
Mount
the.
out,
I'm not
who's
talking
often
about. I'm talking
obvious,
about the
then
forwards.
I think Havertz is,
Well,
yeah.
goals.
Oh no, in terms of all the forwards,
He hasn't played for 2 months.
Yeesh, fucking hell, and I don't think I could put any of them up there.
I'm talking about. I'm Lewis. I'm legit talking about Havertz as a 9. That's what I'm. That the only bit. That's the most consistent bit of a forward.
He's had a longer run than Lukaku. Then I'll give him that. But Lukaku came in and out of injury, and Havertz has had more minutes too. So I kind of expect that. And even with that in mind, he's had 1,000+ more minutes than Lukaku, and he has less league goals.
You cannot take away, bruv. You cannot take away that Lukaku played 9 games straight, all right? Consistently 9 games, and Havertz rotted on that fucking bench game after game. And this guy only scored against Chesterfield and fucking Plymouth, bruv. You know, you've got to understand that throughout the season, bruv, when he's been given the hold on, Nick. When he's been given the opportunity, bruv, yeah, he does not deliver. He never delivers, this guy. I'm sorry, I'm not having it. Kai Havertz, even though he's not hold on, Nick, 1 second, bruv. Even though Havertz ain't consistent, bruv, yeah, in the sense of him scoring goals and putting the ball in the net, what he is consistent with is how he helps our team play the way Tuchel wants to play, and he allows other players, he brings a lot of players into the game. Lukaku don't do that. You know, when Lukaku plays, every other fucking player around him has to do all the work. Do you understand that? So all your players around him have to work twice as hard to accommodate that fucking lump up front. And on top of that, hold on, I've got one more point, yeah, before you can fucking land your whatever, your nonsense, yeah. But at the end of the day, Lukaku, right? When he's playing that line, you cannot.
Yeah, Nick,
play
your
Kai
connection's
Havertz.
a bit iffy too. I can't lie.
You can't play Kai Havertz. I'm sorry, it's one or the other. It don't work for me. Kai Havertz on the right or left of Lukaku, it don't fucking work. And there's a reason the gaffer don't do it. He either plays Werner with him, he plays him a lone striker with a Pulisic, and
yeah,
Ziyech,
Havertz has to be in the middle. I agree with you, but
he
like
has
Havertz
to be.
also
So
needs
you've
to have
got to
output.
choose. My point is, I told you this, Lewis, countless times at the start of the season. It's one or the other, bruv. And unfortunately for me, because of what Havertz offers me all round, I'm taking Havertz, because Havertz, at the end of the day, let's put things into reality and context. Havertz is 22 years old. He has been our most clutch player when it matters. And when we've wanted to win trophies, he's done that, all right? Lukaku's come in at 28 years old with fucking 8 years of Premier League seasons under his belt.
And he's scored clutch goals.
100 million, and he's fucking got us 14 goals.
No,
and
but
dropped a fucking documentary. Now, me
right, okay, but if
personally,
we're gonna do that, no, because if we're gonna do that for
Havertz,
stats, because if we're gonna do that for stats, then because if we're gonna do that for stats, it goes the other way around too. Lukaku has outscored Havertz in the league with under 1,000 minutes.
Yeah, you can go by league, bruv. Fair enough. At the end of the day,
and if you're talking about clutch goals, Lukaku has clutch goals too. He scored in the Club World Cup final as well.
Oh,
Are we just going to ignore that?
Look at the opposition he's playing, man. Part-time
then don't bring Havertz's clutch goal in the Club World Cup because it was a penalty.
No. Havertz stepped up to a penalty.
Oh my!
Pressure,
don't.
One
was in open play. Yeah? One was not in open play.
Listen, Lewis, you can't.
One was in open play. One was after Asby took all the pressure from the Corinthian players and put it on a plate.
Lukaku, bruv, tell me the teams he scored against and what have his goals amounted to? Tell me.
Oh, what? So we're going to say this against shit teams?
No, because you can say he scored 14 goals and he scored more Prem goals. What they fucking amounted to? And what were the opposition?
In terms of like match
Has he scored against Liverpool? No. Has he scored against Manchester City? No. Has he scored against Manchester United? No. Has he scored against Spurs? No. The only team he scored against was a dead Arsenal start of the season. That was it.
Right, okay. So
other
than the Liverpool header, is there any big league goals I've seen this season?
No, I'm sorry, bruv. It's not good enough. I expect my £100 million striker to turn up in the big games when it matters and deliver, and he doesn't do it.
And he scored in the Club World Cup final.
That's fucking one.
He would have scored the winner in the League Cup final if it wasn't ruled out for a bullshit offside. If he got that offside call overturned, you wouldn't have a single word to say about him in big games.
Listen, he just about. Listen, let's have it right. He
wasn't onside. I mean, he wasn't offside.
No, Can I remind you, bruv, that semi-final, yeah, the ball was not even fucking for him. The ball came off a defender.
Been given as a goal in other competitions.
He wasn't even in the right position to receive the ball that was played to him in that semi-final to score that goal. He's so fucking poor, the guy. He was lucky to score that. That's my point, bruv. The guy can't even score outside the fucking box. What striker for 100 million can't score a goal outside the box,
He
bruv?
can't score a goal. Did you watch the game yesterday?
He's
One fucking goal, bruv. One
You just
goal.
said he can't do it, and he did it
can't,
yesterday.
bruv. He's had a whole season and he hasn't.
And he's
had a
had
whole season.
1,000 less
Goal
league
outside the
minutes
box.
than Havertz up
I
top.
don't give a fuck, bruv. Havertz
He's
gives
had
me,
more
gives me a
injuries
team
than
performance,
Havertz
bruv.
on top. He's had no
Nah,
pre-season,
no,
which,
no.
by the way, was the same
he's
thing
had
that
no
you said.
pre-season,
No,
what? So
Johnny,
pre-season at Inter doesn't play a role?
no. Let me finish.
Inter, he had pre-season
He
Inter,
had
bruv.
no pre-season, which
At
is the
Inter he
same
did.
thing that at the start of the season you said Mount needed more time for because he didn't have a
Mount's
pre-season.
played the whole
He's coming
Euros,
to a
bruv.
new
What's
team
Lukaku done?
that
Been
he
eating
doesn't
pasta on
suit,
holiday, bruv.
and you
Come
don't
on,
want to
let's
give
be
him
real about
time.
it. No, Lewis, let's be real about it. Mount played the whole Euros. Lukaku didn't do that. Lukaku, bruv, has been overweight this season.
Can I just ask?
That's a myth.
Can I ask
That's
you?
a
It's not a myth. It's fucking true. Even the gaffer said it.
Just
Even
ask
the
this
gaffer
one.
said it.
Why have we all become so defensive with Lukaku after one game?
Because they want to fucking defend a rat, and I don't understand it, bruv. I can't understand the logic.
I don't look like he scored 2 goals. That's what we want him to do. Let's not lie. We do want. He was brought in to score goals.
No, I just feel some of the points against him are just washed.
Bruv,
They're not
listen, are
really.
you happy with what he's done this season, Lewis? Are you telling me you're happy, bruv? Tell me you're happy that you're happy with Lukaku this season.
And had a
Be honest, be real, bruv. You ain't happy with Lukaku, so why are we defending him, bruv? Why are you
Lewis, we
defending him?
spent 100 million on this striker, bro. 100 million. Like what?
Yeah, I know.
I know. He's been
the
a lot
output
more.
still needs to be more. I agree with you. The output still needs to be more. But then I don't understand. Like you're talking about fucking a 72 million pound player that we're playing up
Who's
top,
won us
who isn't
fucking
giving us
clutch
output
moments,
either.
bruv. He's delivered. He's
Say
delivered when it
both have
counts.
underperformed or both have overperformed.
Lewis,
no,
whether
but
you like it or
Lewis,
not,
Havertz
Lukaku's
has more-
fucking history will tell you, his track record, the guy only scores against the small teams. Very rarely does he score in the big games, bruv. He's always been that player. He's a stat padder. He's a stat merchant. That is what he is. Whereas Kai Havertz, he needs to add to the consistency to the lesser teams. Granted,
he does.
but he's 22, let me remind everyone, and he's still adjusting. Lukaku's fucking had how many seasons in the Premier League?
That's a fair point.
That's not fair, bruv. You can't compare.
No, I'll agree with you on the
who's in
fact
his
that
prime,
Lukaku needs
bruv.
to turn up in big games. I do agree with you on that.
Yeah,
I
but
agree.
he does. But listen, that's what you pay the
that
money
hasn't
for,
shown
Lewis.
its face. But let's not
Yeah,
act
but
like
that's what
he
you
has.
pay the money for.
Let's not act like he's disappeared in every big game. Again, he scored in the Club World Cup final. The offside in the League Cup final was bullshit. We've
Bruv,
complained about it for months.
Lewis. Let me explain to you. In the final, bruv, I want to explain. Hold on. Let me explain something to you. In the final, bruv. In the final, do you know what the gaffer did in the final, bruv? To win the game, to try and win the game, he took the £100 million Don, off at the 65th minute to try and win the game. Understand that, bruv.
I mean, it's probably for rotation. Like we had the semi-final of 4 days before.
It's not about that, mate. You don't. No manager, Jose or Conte or Ancelotti would have taken off.
Congratulations on the GNA. He had 1,000 plus more minutes.
Lewis, 1 second, bruv. There's no way in hell that those 3 managers with the strikers of caliber of Diego Costa and Didier Drogba would have taken off those strikers in a final of a trophy we've never won. With on the 65th minute, impossible, bruv. Even if they're tired. So you have to understand, that Kai Havertz is he's the future. I don't build around Lukaku and his counter-attacking system. He can fucking jog on, bruv.
The thing is, right, and I think this is where the misconception comes.
Oh, I'm out of it, bruv. I don't deal with this fucking rat. See you later, bloods.
Bye. The misconception comes from the fact that I don't think, at least for me, and I think for Lewis as well, I'm not saying that Lukaku is the answer going forward long term. I'm not saying he's anywhere near on the level of Drogba or Costa. I'm not even saying that the performance from yesterday changes anything about Lukaku. The thing for me is he should be praised. He should be praised for what happened. And then my other point is, just because Lukaku isn't the answer doesn't mean Kai is as well. They're both underperforming. Like
Scott,
both.
One second. We are forcing a 22-year-old to be a number 9.
We're not forcing anything because he played there.
Oh, we have. Think of it like this, right? we've had some false Havertz to play in this position because our 100 million striker isn't performing. Hasn't been performing this season.
We did that last year. We forced Havertz to play as a number 9
But
because
we didn't have a right. Werner was brought in, but he was never really a main
No,
striker.
but that's my point. Is that Havertz played there last season, and my counterpoint to that would be, is to where does Havertz play then in his team? Because he's not creative enough as we've seen to play as a 10. He's just not. So then, where do you play him? We've already mentioned that he doesn't work as well out wide.
I think Havertz can play in that position, but to play him in that position, I think you need to have 2 forwards that are a bit like Mo Salah and Mane that are going to be the goal scorers. Personally, I feel like you've got that sort of inside forwards that are the goal scorers, and Firmino is more of the create sort of thing. That's the way I see it. I still think he's important to the way we play. I just feel that he's not that clinical, give you 30 goals a season goal scorer.
He's probably not, but the problem is right now we need him to be. That's the thing is, and the way we play, if you look at the way we play, even with Havertz, when he has his Werners or Pulisic, whoever, he's always the furthest man. He's almost always, I should say, the furthest man forward. So it's not even like he's playing like a false 9 anyway. He just drifts everywhere. But the modern day striker does that anyway. You look at Kane, he drifts a lot. You look at Benzema, he drifts a lot. Lewandowski drifts a lot, but they'll find the box more often than not. Havertz drifting a lot doesn't mean he's a false 9. He plays like a normal number 9. So then I have to judge him on his performances as a 9 and how he performs as a 9.
Listen, you can't defend what the chances that he's missing. We all know that he needs to be more clinical. The only thing I would say is that he maybe has that little bit more time on his side to work on that and for it to happen. But when you look at someone like Romelu Lukaku, who's been brought in to be sort of a short-term, instant bang, sort this out, you're in your prime, you just scored how many goals for Inter Milan, and it doesn't happen, then you're kind of stuck in a hard place, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Because look, he scored 2 goals yesterday. Good on him. Do you know what I mean? That's good. That's what I'd rather. If he played shit for 90 minutes but scored 2 goals each and every game, I wouldn't care because he's doing what we're paying him here for to do. Do you know what I mean? Like scoring, score. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not. But with Lukaku, and we've seen it so many times, is that great, he scores 2 goals, but in the next game he would just completely non-existent. And in that Wolves game in the first half, he had 8 touches in that first half. Like he's not a Benzema. He's not someone like that can go and create for himself. He has to be fed. He's that type of player. And if you don't feed him, which we tend to struggle to do enough because we don't like progressively moving the ball forward quick enough into the space, then he becomes like a passenger. And that's the issue. And that's why I said maybe not playing him against Liverpool, for example, in the final. But I know
not playing against Liverpool, I understand, but I think he should play Leeds. I also say on the final point, Lukaku, what I think hasn't helped him is you can see that the best players that he's played with in terms of that bring the best out of him are Cho, Ziyech and Pulisic. And I'd say he's played with those 3 the least this season. He's played more often not with Havertz, Mount or Werner, and they don't link up well with him. You can see that again. They do not link up well with him.
That's a fair enough point. Werner's, even though he gets quite a lot of assists, is not that creative. Like, again, all our forwards have really bad decision making, like really bad. But like Ziyech and Cho especially, I do feel like cater a lot more to Lukaku. And when we have Reece James playing right back, I think it helps Lukaku as well. It's just unfortunate that whenever he plays, all these players just don't play in either their position or like with him anyway.
Yeah.
But like he needs to go. I'm sorry. I can't. Like, the thing with people who defend Lukaku is that every time you tell them, like, oh, yeah, he's just not the guy. The thing is, yeah, but Havertz. And it's like, I wasn't talking about Havertz. No, I'm literally talking about Lukaku right now. This guy is not good enough. I don't care.
Yeah. So that's the thing. They're both, long term, they're just both not it at the minute. Like,
1 second, I was just what David was saying. Yes, you can't sell him right now. He needs, he won't be sold right now anyway. Because we're not going to go and get an attacker. Even Tuku said it. His plans, for Lukaku is for next season. If he doesn't prove himself by January, then we can think of selling him and bringing in, hopefully, Lewandowski in. But
what when Lewandowski's another year older?
So what? He's still a world-class player.
Yeah, but we'd be eliminating a year. When we wanted to sign Lukaku, everyone was like, "We've got to do it straight away." But now it's on the old.
Havertz, Mount, and all the other young. They're all young, too young. We need someone there who can score goals. That's what's wrong with the team. We have to learn to defend, get some defenders in midfield, get Sherman in, and we need someone. Even Lukaku doesn't do it, we need a striker who can score. Because Havertz, Mount, they're not going to score goals. As we see. That's right.
Fair enough. Guys, I've got to shoot because I want to go and watch the F1 now. It's about to start in 10 minutes, so I need to jump on that. Big up to everyone. We've done 2 hours today. Make sure you smash the like, subscribe to the channel as well. Scott, nice having you, mate. First time in a while.
Yeah, it's nice to come on. Honestly, I just heard that there was beef going on between Lewis and Johnny. And I'd like to listen.
It's always happening on here, mate. So wherever you're free, you're more than welcome to join, mate.
I'd love to have debated Johnny there, but he just wanted to go. But
I don't know why he left. Have you and him got beef or something? Why did he leave like
that? I'll explain afterwards.
On my channel.
Johnny's with everyone. You can't talk with Johnny. It's impossible. So for him.
Anyway, come on. All right, let me finish off, Nick. Anyway, make sure you smash the like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your night. And we'll be back later for the we've got the match. Not really looking forward to it. Match preview for Leeds. See you later on. Take care. Peace out.
Take care, everyone.
Re-sign AC still.